What's up, everyone? This is David Greenspan, and you are listening to Season 2 of the MindShare PodCast, a proud member of the Industry Syndicate Media Network. Additional podcasts are available at mindshare101.com and on all the major podcast platforms. This week's episode is sponsored by Kit's Keep in Touch Systems. This is episode 94. He's the founder and CEO of SparkTank Media, a speaking and coaching company for the real estate, mortgage, and title industries. His focus is always on sales, marketing, technology, social media, and systems that create more sales and productivity. He's been in real estate for over 30 years, and in that time he has been a top producing agent, has run real estate brokerages, he was the VP of Technology and Marketing for an international franchise brand, and has developed training and coaching products to serve the industry. He speaks at many real estate conferences and associations, real estate boards, and top real estate events such as Inman Connect, NAR and Agent 2021. He's been named Inman's top 100 most influential leaders in real estate for several consecutive years, and he's fluent in the 4 languages that he says are English, real estate, sales, and technology. It is my pleasure to welcome to the show my friend, Jeff Lobb. Jeff, welcome to the MindShare Podcast.
What's going on, man?
Not
I don't know if
much.
I can follow that introduction.
Hey, man, you wrote it. No, it's buddy.
My team wrote that one.
I'm sure, man, and the great team you've got. But seriously, bud, it's awesome having you here. I'm glad that we were able to find the time to make this one happen, and I'm excited for the conversation. I'm also excited for everybody that's listening in because, you know, they hear from me so often, their coach, right? Like, it's nice to be able to hear from somebody else, a different coach, a different voice. But you know, just knowing kind of how you roll. I know that there's a lot of synergies there in our messages. And I mean, that I say without the jokes and everything else now, that the reality is just based on, you know, history together and whatnot. There's a lot of similar thinking. And so I am excited for what everybody can benefit from this convo today.
Me too, man.
It's good, buddy. So I got to ask you, right off the top, if we jump into this thing and just go like, what is the biggest thing that you think we as an industry learned over the past 6 months, 7 months, maybe now?
Well, since I would say North America has faced pretty much all about the same craziness, in all fairness, I think we've learned that we are in a very emotional state of mind. Our consumers, our real estate agents, a lot of things have shifted to a highly emotional world. I think we've learned that we need to be more empathy driven if you haven't been already. And I think we learned that you need to be able to pivot very quickly. And not just because of this last 6 or 7 months, because that has been a change. But let's face it, if you've been in the real estate business long enough, you always need to be prepared to pivot. Markets, interest rates, world events, stuff happening. You need to be ready for change all the time. And those who can move and adapt the quickest will typically stay ahead of the curve. So that's what I think we've learned. And if you haven't done that by now, you're probably behind the 8 ball.
Well, you know what? And I think that that's the thing too, is like and listen, man, we've heard a lot about this word pivot, right? Over the past, 6, 7 months, it's been all about how can you pivot? How can you get prepared? And I think it's important. I think that stuff like that is the key, right? When you look at your business to what happened 9 months ago, where you were in sort of a normal state and we were actually just getting into the new year and planning for what 2020 was going to look like. Nobody could have possibly predicted this, right?
Nope.
But as we've heard a lot about that pivot, it's really a lot of people who now have had to take those plans, those goals, those, I guess the plans right there and say, what can I do to adjust? What can I do to change it?
Yeah.
Right.
And, we had to look at real quick, even just, our business related exactly to still what real estate is we had to look at, okay, what can we control? And we can control our current client base. How can we help them more? Because a lot of times it's not about just revenue. It's how can we help people more? So you go deeper, instead of going wide net, you go deeper into your core. And I have some amazing long-term clients that have been in this business and have backed me for years. So how do we go deeper to help them in their busy worlds? And at the same time, how do we take, the hit from the revenue stream of there and find alternate sources? So very quickly you learn that your longtime customers are your biggest raving fans, and you need to focus and take care of them. And in real estate, that's your sphere and that's your past clients. And I think a lot of us went back to the grassroots of saying, hey, I should be calling these people. I should be checking in and doing what I'm supposed to be doing all along.
Yeah, but hold on. Has that ever changed though? Like, I mean, okay.
No.
It changed in the sense where technology came in, and you and I would sit at these conferences and we'd be learning from guys up on stage. We'd be part of the guys up on stage, but we'd be hearing from people, you know, and again, this was, let's say, the past 10, social media, AI, chatbots, online lead generation. I personally think the bell curve has started to, you know, go the other way now, where it's starting to come down, and we're starting to see that, just to what you said. It's almost like, again, has that ever changed? Doesn't it just come back to our sphere?
Yeah, it does. It always does. But I'll tell you, there's been, and I still think there is a huge neglect of our past clients and our past, because there's that fear factor of what do I say? I mean, they put them still into automated systems, and you know my feelings on automated systems sometimes. Now, automation is good. No, but automation is needed. Automation is still a needed process. What?
To an extent.
To an extent.
Right.
However, I think as an industry, we are still really not good at staying humanly connected to people beyond a transaction, because we're always so focused on chasing new. And we forget that it isn't just that one or two people we did the transaction with. They have access to 200, 300, 500 other people in their day-to-day world that really should be referring us business. And you and I both know this. When we get up there and we say, who wants more referral-based business? Everyone wants more, but they don't do the work to earn more. They just expect more. They feel entitled to more.
So, okay. So what is the work? What is the work that, because I know what I tell everybody, and I've been saying this to everybody forever, make your phone calls.
Yeah.
And I said this off the top of COVID, make your phone calls. And I'd have people going, but I don't want to call people right now. I feel uncomfortable talking about real estate. And I'm like, I never told you to talk about real estate. Just make your phone calls, check in on people.
Yeah.
And now we sit here today and it's like, well, you know, what can we do looking ahead? So, and I want to circle back on this in a sec, because I want to ask you this, you know, where are we headed over the next 30, 60, 90 days, based on what we just came out of? Where are we going? And we're going to come back to the importance of making phone calls and the whole strategy behind that. But just as we kind of, again, look at what the past 6 months look like, and then we kind of look ahead to this thing of how are we going to end this year? Do you believe that people are going to be at home? Do you think that kids are, I mean, I know you're prepping the kids to go back to school. I know my kids are going back tomorrow for the first time. Some kids went back.
We're homeschooling this year.
Oh, you're doing homeschool? See? That's what I mean.
Not thrilled about it.
Right.
But
sure, you've got what, 12 kids there now?
No. It is a bit of a hot mess with who's back at college, who's not, who's a senior in high school. There's a lot of moving parts right now in our little Lobb life world. But that being said, I still think we're going to end until we get past, at least in our parts of the world here, until we get past elections, until we get past even into holiday, we're still going to have a lot of drama and a lot of things we haven't even seen yet happen because this is so amped up. So we still better be prepared for change to happen, good, bad, or indifferent. And it doesn't matter which, president gets elected at this point. There's going to be a whole hot mess wrapped around the battle through this, the COVID battle, all this stuff is going to be wrapped into drama. And we just need to keep our head down and focused on the things that matter, which is clients, family, and staying healthy. That's it. And it will change. So I think by the end of the year, we still are going to be dabbling at home, no doubt.
So you believe that people will, I mean, you've made the decision not to send them to school, but you're of the belief that everybody's going to be sort of like, I don't want to use the word lockdown because that's a scary word these days, but that idea of, hey, we're shutting schools back down.
I think my gut tells me there may be a few other instances that happen that will cause a hybrid version of that. Yes. Some parts of the country will have issues where they will shut back down, and others may stay hybrid depending on what parts of the world you're in. But yeah, there's going to be definitely some areas that have a reverse effect right now, my opinion.
We saw a scary one yesterday. And again, do not believe everything you hear on the internet. But we saw a scary one yesterday that one guy was doing a video about the fact that kids were now coming home from school with little booklets and pamphlets and somethings that said, hey, parents, be prepared that in the event that we have to lock down the school, your kid may have to stay here overnight.
Yeah.
And the guy went on to say, he's like, oh, so all of a sudden they're going to separate us from our children. And there's this mandatory vaccine that everybody's talking about. Are they going to try to just vaccinate our kids? And I thought, whoa, now we're like stretching.
Yeah. Well, I don't believe that's a stretch.
Are we?
No.
You know, that's
no.
a scary
Look,
thought,
there's a control play here. And I don't want to go down that path. Is people and certain groups, no matter which side you're on, doesn't matter. Want control.
Yep.
So, let's go back to what we said first, because I don't want to lose sight of the topic of our clients, because there's a really important thing I think we missed when things happen and we started saying, go back to your sphere, go back to your client. Like, go back to, you should have always been with them. Let's face it.
That's absolutely.
So it's not going back. But here's where I think the problem is.
Yep.
When people make their calls, and I think you're in an alignment with this, so I'm going to watch, I'm sure you're going to agree. When people go back and they call, they do that check-in like, hey, I'm calling to see how's things going. I want to make sure everyone's healthy. And in the consumer's mind, because A, they probably haven't heard from you much, and B, they're like, why is my realtor calling me? Like, to them, you're just like, you're my realtor. I'm not ready to sell my house. I'm good. Like, yeah, we're good. We're fine. Because they have a defense, not a defense. I mean, they're warm and fuzzy and yeah, everything's crazy. But in their mind, they are simply saying, it's my realtor and I'm not really I don't have any real estate interest.
Like, no, I don't want to sell my house right now.
Yeah. And here's why.
Yeah.
Because no one has taken the real business aspect of this. And I like to use this scenario, and I love to ask an audience this question nowadays. And it doesn't mean you have to be an Apple fanboy to answer this. By the way, are you an Apple fanboy?
No, I'm a PC. I'm a PC and an Android.
Oh my God. Oh, sorry.
We play well with others.
So I am an Apple fanboy. But just here's the question though. And when I ask people, you can say the same thing for Android. Is why did Apple become such a successful company? And people will start going down the path of, well, it's because it's a great experience, because it's the packaging, it's the marketing, it's this, it's that. And to me, the answer is still no, no, and no. While they do all those really well, is because the Apple product became an ecosystem to not just a phone. It's not just because they have a great phone or a great software. They're an ecosystem to just about everything we need. So when I want my email, it's there. Social, it's there. It's my web is there. When I want my camera, it's there. When I need a flashlight, it's there. It became a gateway to everything, the gateway drug, if you will. Mm-hmm. So it's an ecosystem. So it's not just a good phone or this or that. So when we're talking to our realtor, what else is my realtor good for other than selling my house?
Right.
We didn't do a good enough job proving value of, I have a lot of resources at my fingertips. Like, if you have issues with your plumbing, or, hey, how's things going for your landscaping? Are you going to do a pool closing this year? I've got some great resources I could refer to you, but no one knows I have them. So I'm not a resource. I'm not an ecosystem. No one's calling me, asking me those questions. They're going to a blind Facebook group going, hey, anybody know a good electrician? When they should have just called me, right? Because I should have done a better job saying, let me share with you all of my great contacts and my sphere. But we don't do that. So we're not an ecosystem in their world. We're just, I'll call you when I find somebody ready to sell a house or when we want to buy.
Listen, I've said this before too, right? It's not like I'm going to get gas. I'm not going to get milk. I'm not picking up like the day-to-day essentials here. This is real estate. I may not be thinking about you for 10 years.
Right.
And as much as we in real estate go, okay, I'm your realtor, right? Well, the reality is I might tell you you're my realtor, but if I'm not planning to buy or sell, quite frankly, I don't have one and I don't need one right now.
Right.
And this is part of that idea of like, what are you doing to keep yourself in front of people? Back to what you just said around what kind of value are you adding in there? So I'm curious then with that, if we look and say our sphere is would you agree with this? Our sphere is our major source of business, our main source of business.
100%.
Okay.
Should be.
So we should be making the phone calls. So now let's go back to then and say, how would that phone call go? Because a lot of times what will happen, and I've been saying to people, call and ask them how they are.
Yep.
Right now, I look at that and say, in perfect agreement with you, call people up and find out how they're doing. And then when they shrug it off like, yeah, things are good. Say, no, like I really want to know though. How are things? How have you guys been handling the past few months? Are you guys going back to school? How's the work situation? What you're really trying to do is dig for, are there any underlying issues there that could be, hey, they need to refinance. Great. I can hook you up with a mortgage broker. You may not make any direct dollars off of that, but what you very well may do is say, I'm your trusted advisor. I've created the ecosystem for you. I like that. Right. The ecosystem.
Be the ecosystem.
Be there. And now I'm that resource that helps you go there.
You know, and I think agents struggle there though, because they can talk. I mean, they're probably really good. Most agents are good at the small talk, right? About the kids at school, and they could talk about all the, but I think they don't know how to weave themselves into a conversation about like, the mortgage thing is an easy one, right? Like, oh my God, you bought like 3 or 4 years ago. Have you even refinanced yet at any time? That should be an easy one, a no-brainer for your mortgage partner. But a lot of times I'll give advice to say, here's an easy way to get into that conversation through third-party story. And it's always a way to sprinkle things in. So I would say to a customer, if you were my past client, I'd say, Dave, listen, I'm so glad the kids are doing well. I've been calling a lot of clients lately, and so many people are having like so many needs right now at home. I've got one client that needed a guy to help them with their pool. And I got somebody that had a tree come down and needed a tree guy. So I've been so busy helping clients. How are you doing with the house? Anything you guys are working on at home? Everyone, like, I would just tease that right in there, because now they're going, oh, a pool guy? Oh, a tree guy? So I would just say we're helping so many of our clients right now with all these things at home right now, from roofs and landscaping to, you got to put it into a story that people can understand. And now you're setting off the bells going, oh man, yeah, I'm getting ready to shut down my pool. I'm not really happy with my pool guy. Who do you have? That's the conversation, but you got to do it in a way that starts to get them to think that. So that's how I always weave in through third-party stories.
I like that idea about third-party stories.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that we all gravitate to that, right? Because now it's not, hey, I'm calling you about you, or hey, I'm calling you about me. It's, hey, let me tell you about this. And I mean, guys, we can even translate that into social media for content and just putting things out there. It's the same thing. We had somebody on the show a few weeks ago who said that every realtor is a blogger. Mm-hmm. And I said, explain that. He says, well, you guys are asked questions every single day. You give answers to questions every single day. At that point, you've got value that you can educate other people about when it comes to, their world, let's say, their house, their finances, whatever it be. You've got some sort of value to put out there. And now what you're doing is you're telling a story about somebody else. And now people are going, oh, cool. It's not about me and it's not about you. So I'm going to listen to it.
That's right.
It's interesting the way that works.
And I drop in the words, we've been helping a lot of our clients. That preface word right there is, we've been helping a lot of our clients do these things. So they're saying, man, that's awesome. I didn't know you did that. Of course we do. It's what we do. So, I think that's the easiest way to get into a conversation. And look, I'm a homeowner myself, and I've been in town for years, and my wife's even in the real estate business. And there's still people we don't know. Like, I need a really good, like, affordable daily type painter or handyman. I'm always struggling. I have a lot of cool names, but some are priced up here. Yeah. Some are priced down there, which I don't want. But we always need something. So we ourselves, even with all this knowledge, are looking for advice on that stuff. So what do you imagine? What do you think the typical homeowner needs, right? So that's where we need to add that value, become the ecosystem.
Okay, so now, and we said that obviously, again, our sphere is that focus. I was on a call with a coaching client of mine this morning, and he says, one of my big goals is to go out and find new people every single day. Mm-hmm. And, again, I continue to drive home the message that 79% of your business is always going to be built off of your sphere. If you focus your time and your efforts on them, somehow they are going to lead you to more people.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
What do you think is the number one factor that contributes to the success of any realtor? I mean, bottom line, what are people actually doing to earn the success?
Well, I think, it depends on what phase of the business you're in. So for some clarity, I just try and emphasize two things. Going right where you just said you were going with new people, I have to first convince people that you're really not even in the real estate business, right? You're in the people relationship business. So the goal is finding more streams. I call them streams of people, more avenues of networking, because your sphere is only one of those streams. It's a big one. But besides your sphere, where else am I going to find and meet new people? And people are like, oh, Jeff, I can't be going out to my BNI group, and I can't be going out to my networking thing, and I can't be. Okay, so leverage what you have, which are, you've got Facebook groups, right? Why don't you go live in your Facebook group? Why don't you do something? And if it's not yours, why don't you ask to be invited as a guest and share some knowledge? And I just came to mind, like, I've got, tonight we're going to be helping one of our dear friends out in town. And my wife's involved in part of her part-time business is doTERRA. Did you ever hear of doTERRA?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay,
right?
The oils and stuff.
Oils and stuff. Yeah. So our dear friend is a rock star, doTERRA. She's like, I don't know what level she is, but she's hosting some big convention thing at her place tonight. Well, what if I asked her and said, hey, listen, you got a huge group. What if I just came in and shared some real estate information about your group, maybe educating them on things they could be doing in real estate, maybe some investment stuff, and invite me in for 20, 30 minutes. And just for those who want to listen, invite me in. And I'll share knowledge, no sales pitch, right? So why wouldn't I ask people to be part of their group if I can share something smart with them? So they go, wow, I didn't know all that. Thanks for inviting me. I could become of value to them as part of my ecosystem, right? So we just look at as, here's my Facebook group. Here's my LinkedIn. But what about other people's in other businesses?
Okay, I'm going to throw up an objection right now. First thing that comes to mind is, but she's selling oils. She's doing her event. Why would I come in and talk about real estate? Why would she want me to talk about real estate? You know what? I'm not going to ask her about that because it just feels weird. And plus, what would I talk about? And I throw that up as that common, like, there's the first thought that's going to go through somebody's mind of like, what would I do?
Yeah, well, how would she see value? So let's face it. I'm just using this as an example.
Absolutely.
So I'm sure at some point, there's only so much you could talk about certain oils and certain newness. So maybe she has a special one-off saying, hey, this isn't going to be part of our special meeting, but I happen to know a really smart guy in the real estate business. Anybody who might want to learn more about real estate as an investment, maybe the money you're making in doTERRA you can use and leverage in investment properties or learning about the market. We're going to have just a session if you want to join, and do it one-off. So it's not part of her daily, but just as an invite. And if I got a third of her audience to listen, it's an opportunity for me to still get in front of more people. So yeah, it's an objection. It's not going to be for everybody. They might think, well, I don't want you pitching my people to buy and sell. It's not what I want. Here's what I want to do. Educate them. If they're making money, maybe we can teach them how to make more, right? So maybe they want to buy a second home. Maybe that's why they're working and having a second grind. That's why they're hustling with that second business. So you don't
The other thought I just had as well is, hey, I mean, if you're thinking, hey, I'll talk about real estate, maybe tell them how you sell. What do you do to get out there and market yourself? What are your systems looking like? I mean, you're talking about adding value.
What if we taught them marketing strategy so they can market their product better, right? Inside, the businesses are all overlapping in marketing and strategies. I'll never forget, I was sitting at my son's basketball game last year when we were allowed to have a real game, before all this nonsense. Literally just sitting on the gym floor with another parent. Just, you want to be incognito doing your thing. And we're just chit-chatting. She's like, so what do you do for a living? And I'm like, what do you do for a living? So she, I said, I'm a sales and marketing coach in the real estate space. And she's like, oh my God, how well do you know social media? I'm like, oh, pretty well. She's like, I am struggling. And I'm like, what business are you in? And she told me what business she was in. She's like, I wish I could just pay you to help me do that. And it was just in conversation that people are always needing help in other areas because they know their lane, but they don't have that broad-based knowledge. And in real estate, you get a pretty darn diverse knowledge base with all the things we're dealing with. So you just have to be present in front of more people. You need more at-bats. And
I like that.
You're sitting in your office.
You're never going to bat 1,000, right? Never going to bat 1,000. Major leaguers don't bat 1,000. In fact, a good major leaguer is batting like 300 or 400. That means they're only hitting 3 or 4 out of 10 pitches. Which means now at the same time, too, when you make your phone calls, if you're calling 10 people, you may only get 1, 2, or 3 people that actually are even responsive. Never mind want to do a deal.
Right.
But this comes
That's why you need to find
phone calls.
What I call it multiple streams of people, right? Multiple streams of leads and money. I call it multiple streams of people. And I have a whole talk on 7 streams of people, but it's really, how do you find more streams? And right now our limitations might be limited a little bit. But at the same time, that doesn't mean there's not other alternatives.
Let's talk about those because you brought a great one up, which is something I've been saying to everybody is tap into your Facebook groups. Like it's just way too easy to tap into Facebook groups. Find something that's of interest to you. It's not about going in and tapping into just real estate groups. And I had somebody today said to me, says, I don't want to go into real estate groups. I don't want to be friends with other realtors. They're my competition. I said, yes, but you can have phenomenal referral sources from some of these folks, right? You can find that you've got good synergies with people, but it's not just about tapping into real estate groups. Go find interest-based groups, be it football, be it basketball, be it, 100%. Toronto Maple Leafs, be it hunting. I don't care, playing the violin. Like whatever you do that is interesting to you, there are groups out there on Facebook that you could tap into, make conversation with people, create relationships, and then possibly, maybe have opportunities. But if you don't start that initial conversation, there is no opportunity.
Yeah, I think people struggle there because they don't know what value to bring to them.
Right.
They don't know what to say other than, they sound salesy. And that's unfortunate, where most people default to, like, we help people buy and sell their dream home. We help, like, it goes into that whole like pitch. How about, if you could come up with one of these, I tell to the audience, whoever's going to be listening to this, come up with like a, did you know? It's like one of our favorite things. Did you know that if you had an extra $10,000 or $20,000 in your bank account and you were thinking about the stock market or this, did you know you could buy an investment property in our market, 2-family, that pays for itself? Did you know that? Like, did you know something that gives them a value? Did you know that if you haven't refinanced in the last 6 months, you could still save 2 months on your mortgage and potentially another couple $100 a month? Like, stop trying to sell them stuff. Just give them something of information that would get them to feel value and understand that you're trying to help them. So that's where most struggle. They don't know what to say.
They don't know what to say. So we think about groups. Yep. Where are other places that people can tap into? Again, looking at the landscape we have ahead of us, there's people that are scared to go outdoor. I mean, most people hate door knocking. We know that for the people that do it, the very small group of people, that 99% of them actually see business out of it. But there's a very, very, very tiny group of people that actually go and do it properly. But door knocking is not one of those things that anybody's comfortable with just at this. I mean, there's some people that are, but again, are you going to be fond of somebody door knocking your house right now? Everybody's going to have a different answer around how they would deal with it in today's world, right?
Right.
But beyond just that of door knocking, and then we talk Facebook groups, what else can I do? What else are we suggesting to people to go out there and be able to prospect no matter what happens over these next, again, 30, 60, 90?
Yep. My favorite topic is deeper into the community, helping the local businesses self-promote themselves.
Yep.
So I've been, it's got to be, 7 years I probably talked this, and it's evolved, don't get me wrong, with Facebook and everything else. But now, even with the situation in the last 6 months, if you have nobody to call, you should have this conversation. Right now, in my small town in Sussex County, New Jersey, businesses are still struggling. Some are starting to open, some aren't. Hey, this is Jeff Lobb with XYZ Realty. Listen, we just put together an awesome Facebook page talking all the things about the best of Sussex County, New Jersey. And I think you guys do an amazing job. I want to talk about how we can help you guys down at the local, Chinese restaurant or the pizzeria, or whatever it is. How can we help promote you guys? Can we talk about some of the stuff you guys do? And you do pickup and ordering. Would you mind if I promoted you guys on our social page? Oh yeah, by the way, my name's John. Are you the owner, John? Yeah, fantastic. Listen, I just want to help. We sell a lot of real estate in the area. Here's my third party story. We sell a lot of real estate in the area, and we're always trying to, help our local community. But right now, I want to help you guys specifically. You guys have been struggling. I have a big audience in real estate. I know a lot of people. I just want to promote you guys to all of them, and hopefully we can help you guys pick up business. Would that be okay? Who would tell me no?
Well, that's where I'm at, man. I mean, I said this. I said that the small business was one of the main people you need to pick up the phone and call. And this was, again, when everything started hitting the fan. I said, go through and call your contact list. Call the young families, find out what they're doing to keep the kids busy. It's just conversation.
Yeah.
Call the folks that may need a little bit of extra assistance. What can you do to help them? Call the small business owners, the ones that used to go in and buy the milk and buy the eggs. And the one that's probably struggling just like you small business, right? Call them and reassure them. Give them hope. Put a smile on their face. Let them know you will be back. Find out how they're doing.
And go beyond, think about the creative stuff. Think about the karate studio that hasn't may open their doors. Think about, the daycares for kids. Oh, you guys are reopening again? You know what? I would love to let our parents know. I'm sure they're scrambling to figure out what to do with this at-home stuff. And look, the whole job is you're creating a new relationship with that person. At least it's an introduction to a call that's not cold. Very unlikely you'll get hung up on. And if you do, there's others to call. But secondly, you're offering value right up front. But here's the real beauty of this. I know, besides just being a local small business, their sphere is probably way bigger than mine. They not only know all of the darn people that walk through their door every day on a first name basis, they know who they deliver to. They know other business owners. They know investors. They know commercial landlords. They know a lot. All I want to do is get to know them and build a relationship with them, because that's how I really built my business over the years, pre-Facebook. And that's a phone call I can make anywhere, anytime, even if I'm brand new. Brand new. And if you can't say, I sell a lot of homes in the area, we sell a lot of homes in the area. We, the brokerage, we sell a lot of homes in the area. And I just want to dive deeper into helping people like yourself that have been struggling with this nonsense. So I want to promote you guys. Are you okay with that?
And who's going to say no? And then at the same time, too, at some point down the road, you're going to have something going on in that neighborhood that you're going to tell them about just in passing, and they're going to turn around and reciprocate and say, how can I help you?
Right. One day. Right. There'll
one
be
day.
a day.
And you're not doing the first one to get the second one.
No, you're going to have to do way more. It doesn't mean one phone call and you're done either.
Right.
This takes work. It's a relationship. When they do open, you need to stop down there and go, hey, remember me? I talked to you on the phone. Like, make it one of your top 10 or top 20 people you're going to pop in once a month on, or have lunch there, or stop by and say hello. And hey, you know what? I finally would get a chance to break out. I've never seen the place. I wanted to stop by and say hello, give you my card. And wow, what a beautiful place you have. Like, start being human. Like, it doesn't just happen with the Amazon effect. They're going to just start sending me business.
No. This has to be genuine. You got to be authentic about it.
Truth.
Build the relationship.
Be authentic is right. That's half the battle. So it's a long-term play, but so is real estate, and so are people in relationships, right? It's a long-term play. But that is one of the many areas you could do right now, stuck at home. Even if you were locked down, you could do it.
Okay, let's keep going on that, because I think as we look ahead to where we're going, this is a big one here, right? What can people do to go out and find more business? So we look at making your phone calls. We look at connecting on social media groups. We look at I guess making the phone calls, including not just your COI. Well, your shop owners couldn't be included in your COI, but not just your past client and your contact list and friends and family, but go out and reach out to those shop owners, those people you don't yet know, the potential prospecting, you might call that, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
What other suggestions can we give to people? And I know as we start talking lockdown, we start talking, again, the inability to maybe get out there and, go sit at the coffee shop and meet random people, or go knock on doors or whatever. We're starting to get really limited on how we can get out there, but there's still opportunity to do so.
Sure.
Do we see anything else beyond, let's say, the call and the social media?
Yeah, you got to get, I'll think about one of the creative things I used to do. And maybe this isn't like I'm locked down at home. I think we're a little bit beyond total lockdown, but
I sure hope so.
One of my best sources were looking at where does most of my client base go before, during, and after work? Like, where do I find them? So if I don't go knock on their door, where do they go? So it's either coffee bagels or lunch, or they go shopping locally at certain food stores. So my destination, and I've told this story a bunch of times too, has always been Dunkin' Donuts in my market. Okay, soon there'll be a Starbucks coming soon, so I hear, because we live in rural. But wherever it is, look, I know clients go there, and you've all seen the people that go, oh, hey, I want to give back today. I want to buy that person behind me some coffee and all that stuff, and you buy their coffee for them. But I used to do self-promotion where I had permission from the actual owner, because remember I told you I called and prospected business owners.
Yep.
I've actually sold them a bunch of stuff. I've sold them a Dunkin' Donuts. I've sold them some townhomes. And then I said to him, finally, my ask, hey, I know you don't like people soliciting, but would you mind on a certain day, weekend, I buy 100 cups of coffee from you, and I get some cards made up on the back of my business cards. Do you mind if I just give people free cups of coffee? Now, I could put my mask on and do that. I could stand back, and right now today, I think they've actually opened where you can go in the store. We're in New Jersey. We're finally opening to that part. But regardless, 6 months from now, you could do this a year from now, 2 years from now. It was part of my marketing where I would just like to, what's 100 cups of coffee cost me? I don't know, $150, $200. He gave me a deal, right?
Yeah.
And you have to watch people's reactions though. It was really funny because I used to do this quite often, especially around holiday weekend type stuff. And I'll be like, hey, good morning. My name is Jeff Lobb with so-and-so real estate. Just want to buy a cup of coffee today. You getting coffee? And you go to give them that like free thing, and they look at you like, "No, I'm good."
Yeah.
Like, I'm good. I'm like, "You're good. Are you buying any coffee?" They're like, "Yeah. We're okay. This is just a free cup.
It's free."
Now here's the beauty of it. And I didn't even have this like scripted, but sometimes what comes out of your face just sounded right.
Yeah.
So they're like, they get their free thing. They finally take it. And they realize it was really free, no strings attached. And I do the takeaway. I'm like, here, just free. And I don't even need to talk to you. We're good. And then they'll come back and they'll go, hey, that was really nice of you. Thanks. Why are you doing this?
Now they want to know more.
The best part is the takeaway. Because we just sell a lot of real estate in the area. And I just love to get back to my community. I just want to buy people coffee just to say thank you for doing what you do. Have a good day. I don't even want to talk to you. Oh, wow, you saw real estate? Yeah. Do you have now I say the word real estate and their friggin' light bulb goes off. And like, I don't even really want to talk to you about real estate, because now it's like, then you get the ones that go, oh my God, how is the market? Now they want to talk your ear off. And I just want their name and information and maybe set an appointment later. But I want to give out my 100 cups of coffee to other people too. So you'll find that people started distracting me from that. Now I know with some of the limitations, depending on your state or country, you might not be able to do that right now. But I would even be willing if they let me with masks and distancing, and I'd have it up there going, hey, get the coupon right on the table there, free cup of coffee. It's right on the table, right there. Why not? With permission.
Listen, I like it. I think you get to get out there and meet a whole bunch of new people. I think when you don't slam a sales pitch down their throat, they're going to kind of look at you funny, take it, get the coffee, and then come back and go, okay, what's up?
I just planted the seed. The
right?
seed is this.
That's it.
We sell a lot of real estate in the area, and I just love to give back to my community for all the people that have helped support my business. I want to help support you guys. It's a free cup of coffee.
Okay, so take me here now it says this, because again, I'm going to play the naysayer right now. I'm going to play the one that goes, well, Jeff, I don't know. What's that going to do for me, right? What am I doing to convert that? We just talked about, and this is like, and I'll tell you, I mean, we both, had trade show booths at trade shows before, and it's kind of like you're standing there and you're talking, you want to catch up with this person, but you see 10 other people walking by that you don't know that you really want to talk to as well. And there's that thing of going, okay, how do I tell you I got to go and I want to talk to these people? Or much the same way, if all we did was plant the seed, we didn't have that full-on conversation with this individual, there are all these other people coming, and that's why we didn't do that. How do we at some point walk away with some sort of contact information, like that conversion?
Fantastic.
Because this is that online lead, right? Is that you go out and you spend a ton of money, you put out the ads, SEO, you spend, a few hundred or a few $1,000s to generate that. All you've got is a lead. You now have to do something with it. And that's part of my big thing to people about the online lead gen is it's not just spend money to get the lead. It's what is your process to try to convert that lead? Now, the difference here is we haven't even really gotten the lead yet, but they're physically right there.
Yeah, they're physically right there.
What do we do?
And I got 5 other people I want to give coffee to, talk to, and they're holding me up. So here it is, role play. Ready? So, hey, Dave, listen, I would love to talk to you more. My God, I can't believe, you got this kind of level of interest. Do me a favor. I've got this awesome local real estate report. I'll be happy to send you and show you all the stuff going on. You want me to text it or email to you real quick?
Yeah. I don't know. Send me a text.
Phone out, text or email. Which one do you want?
Done. Text me.
Hey, so I get your phone number, type it in, email.
Okay, hold on. That was important though. You said it. Yeah, as you asked the question, phone is in hand.
Yeah, I didn't ask you
it's like we're going.
Giving me your name and number.
Yeah.
It's going to be, do you want me to email it or text it? Because I have something of value for you. I got this really cool report for you specifically. I'll send it to you a little bit later. Do you want me to text it or email it to you? And I'll definitely set up a time we can chat further. Awesome.
Perfect.
Text or email.
Cool. So now, okay, what if I don't have the report? Like, what if I don't have that, and I love this because again, everybody tuned in, follow me when I say this, online lead gen. I just said it from the online perspective, and I'm talking to Jeff about the offline stuff, but the online stuff, when you send somebody or direct somebody through an ad to go to your website, you have to have what's called a magnet. And this is the book, this report that Jeff is talking about right now. Now people go there and they've got the opportunity, if they choose to give you their information. Jeff just spun you, dude. You just spun that in a whole different world, and I love the way you went with that because now it's not, hey, can you give me your info? It's almost like, I mean, you're asking that, but you're almost like, I'm going to do this for you.
I've got to create the sizzle,
right,
for something you want, and people always want to know about how's the market, right? So if I say it, look, I could say, oh, I'm going to send you some stuff later today. What stuff, right? So how about this? I've got this awesome specialized real estate report that will show you everything that's going on in today's market. You'll love it. Do you want me to email or text it to you? And like, oh yeah, I want it. Like, sure. Because we do the same thing when we teach people about circle prospecting around an open house. And in the States, we have a company called RPR, Realtor Property Resources, which will create a beautiful PDF document of the market, which I tell people to have all the time, just once a month, create a new report, put it in your phone as a link. In Canada, I don't care if it's an MLS report. Create a monthly report on your MLS once a month and put the link in your phone.
Important. Everybody listening, right? So again, you want to be prepared because Jeff, I was about to ask you that. Like, what if I don't have a report? Well, what do I do?
my God, a report you can get from anywhere, for crying out loud. Run a month-end
you.
report for your real estate market in your MLS or whatever sexy platform you have that says, here's the status of the real estate market today for 30 days. Because when we circle prospect around, let's say an open house, when we're allowed to and do that, I'll say, listen, this lead capture device right here goes beyond open houses. If I ran into you and I was having lunch and someone's walking by, I'm like, hey, John, how's it going? And I'm talking to you and they're like, how's the market? Oh my God, I got this awesome report for you. Do me a favor. You want me to text or email to you? I'll send it to you in a little while. I can send that report to anybody, but I want to email or text to you. Which one?
Guys, that is sales 101 right there. This is when you're booking an appointment. Do you want 10 o'clock tomorrow, or would 2:15 be better? Do you want email, or would text be better? You have given them an out, but you have still given yourself an inroad on both angles.
Right.
Right.
But you got to make this thing sound exclusive. Like when it's an open house and I'm door knocking, let's say the neighborhood, and I say we're going to be hosting your neighbor's house and blah, blah, blah. Most of the time, this is like open house strategy, and agents still don't do this when you're allowed to have regular open houses, is they'll go, oh, well, here, take a flyer with all the information. They take the flyer, you get the door shut on you, and I've got nothing as a real estate agent. Nothing. They got some flyer that sits on their counter, goes in the garbage. So I say, don't give them anything physically first. It's either we have a specialized local report for just this area on everything that's selling, and actually might even help you show you where your equity stands in your home. Really, my equity in my home, really. I have it for you. I'll be happy to share it with you. Do you want me to email or text it?
Now you got somebody in your database. So now, let's say they say text me.
Awesome.
And I'm just gonna play this a little bit just to go deeper, because my mind is going CRM and marketing and all that other stuff, right? They text me, or they say text me. So I've got the phone number 555-123-4567, right?
Yep.
And I text it to them.
Yep.
Did I get their name? Did I get their, if I'm at their door, I've got their address, an important thing I'm going to take my own notes about, FYI to everybody, right? But what do I do if we're at that coffee shop, or if we're wherever, and all I get is the phone number? Do we just do the natural thing of, hey, what's the best way to spell your name as well?
I would just, after I get their number or email address, which is the lockdown of what I need their data, right? That's their data. It's a give and take. So I've got their data. I've got their phone number typed in, and I would just say, and if you don't mind, just your name is
there you go.
David Greenspan with 2 E's. Okay, good. Awesome. I'll send it to you later. And now here's where, if you really want to do the work, and I know you love like the CRM mentality too, is if I was doing this wrapped around, let's say, an open house, and I had that person's information, I would literally, first of all, then send them a thank you later. Hey, just a quick update. Open house went really well, 10, 15 people through there. I'll be the first to let you know when a new neighbor's on the way.
There you go.
Now, guess what? I'm in their phone.
Yeah.
I'm in the remote control of their life. So now if they ever need the real estate guy's information, I'm in here. So then it's, hey, guess what? We got a new offer. We got an offer on the house that's accepted, closing about 30 days. Keep you posted. And guess what they want to know when I tell them it's under contract? Their curiosity is going to be like, oh, what did it go for?
Yeah.
So now I actually have communication if I do my job.
Yeah.
Every agent remember to follow up? No. But look, you've all seen how many times you list that house and another home or two comes on the market wrapped around a block or two of that house, and it's not yours. So why not try and find more people to talk to. So I sit in an open house or wherever I'm at, and I wait for people, which is reactive, or I can be proactive and go find 5 new people to talk to that I didn't talk to today. Remember, small wins. Think about it. 5 new people every weekend, 5 new people a week, times 50 2 weeks out of the year, 300 new people in my database, or 200, whatever it is in my database that I never had before.
That's right.
So that's
I look at that world of online lead gen, and again, I say to people, for the amount of money you're spending there, if you just want to meet one new person a day, it's 365 new people a year. It's easy.
Look, you have to be willing to do the work, right? Everyone wants to wait and have it happen. And if you saw behind on my other walls, behind all this, I have this thing that says, don't wait. We don't wait for anything. If you wait, you can't predict your future. You can't have your future develop because you're waiting on things you can't control. So you always have to be proactive.
We've kicking off the MindShare Mastermind yesterday, we the first topic, we talked about goal setting, we talked about time management, just really laying out the land for how are you going to manage all this? Because now when we talk about getting out there and generating new leads, doing our prospecting, doing our phone calls, doing our social media, connecting with that shop owner and putting together this report, it's like, how do I manage my time to get it all done? And one of the big things was, and I posted this today in our group as well, for all of our MindShare Masters, about the 3 pillars of time management. And realistic time. What are you realistically going to do? Like the other day, I know I saw you on the tractor, and you're doing the lawn, and then you're up at the at the cabin building the deck. Like, it's realistic that that's what you're doing. So it's not realistic to think that you're necessarily going to be prospecting at that time. So again, schedule accordingly. Much the same to create, and you just said it, predictable days that are then filled with income producing activities. Right? So it's that idea of like, okay, I know what I'm doing today. I know what I'm doing tomorrow. I know what I'm doing the next day. And I know that those things that I'm doing are not just aimlessly scrolling something or aimlessly whatever.
Yeah.
But I am doing it with intent. I am doing it with purpose. I have a plan for why I am doing it.
So let me share with you, I'll share with you this. I don't think we even talked about this. I was a guest this morning on the 5 a.m. Club, which is a private club of entrepreneurs for 5 minutes. Oh, I keep hitting my microphone. For 5 minutes a day. It's a 5-minute message. And I was a guest this morning, asked to speak on 5 minutes. So the one thing I talked about is we talked about focus. And we're currently working with one of our clients, and I won't be specific, on a mastermind group right now, where we're helping their sales literally increase in large quantities. But we do that through, we take a foundation of either a couple books and some topics, and then we develop it into their sales. And how do we implement it? How do we execute that? So one of the things we're talking about is everyone wants these massive results. Like, I want to change everything. I'm finally fed up. I'm going to do this. And it's such a massive goal. It's unreasonable. It's not even executable. Like, you get overwhelmed and you don't do it. So we started looking at it as like, okay, what's the small thing you could do every day? What's the 1%? And when I ask you this, saying, listen, you want to double and triple your sales, you can't even focus on your calendar right now. So could you do something, and could you improve 1% a day? That's the question. And when I asked like 80 people we had live on our master, 1%, of course, I could do 1% a day. Okay, good. Let's start there. What is one small thing you could do better that's going to help increase your sales revenue or whatever your goal is? Because we always focus on the goal, and the goal is not the problem. The goal is just a number of reach. It's the process and the systems that get you to the goal. The goal is a destination. But
hey, we talked about that. Sort of, because we talked about that back in Jersey a few years ago when you had us all write checks to ourselves.
Oh, yes.
Remember? And I still have it in my wallet. I still have it in my wallet. And I remember the things that were written down. But one of the things we talked about was, okay, we're going to make that. What steps are we taking to get there?
That's right.
Right? How are we actually going to get there?
Small steps. And I'll tell you,
wins.
You saw in our private group, the one person recently, like a month ago, said, I can cash this check now, baby. Let's write a new one.
Yeah, right. Which is amazing.
I was like, holy crap. And I know what that check was written for.
Well, you see, and there's the key, right? But it's having the plan. And without the plan and without doing the little things you're supposed to be doing every single day, you cannot accomplish. Like, I'm curious, what would you say is the biggest challenge that you're coaching just like I am? Okay?
Yeah.
We're talking like the common struggle for all realtors, everybody that we deal with in our industries, mortgage, insurance, real estate. What is that common struggle amongst everybody?
I think it's mindset.
Okay. I would agree with that one. Absolutely.
It's an emotional. I mean, there's a lot of things, but
top of my list, mindset and time management.
Yeah. Both.
And I think they go so hand in hand.
They do,
come
because
right back to the small win thing.
They're either afraid, or I'd rather not do the hard work because no one's really pushing me anyway. And if I sat on social media for an hour passes by and I'm still working hard, like things, no one's holding me really accountable. So here's a good one. This made me think of this a second.
Yeah.
We were just doing this in that same mastermind. I said, no one holds you, and we could even hold each other accountable. But what if I said this to the person that said to me, well, Jeff, you know what that 1% for me is going to be? I'm going to make one extra phone call a day. And I said, okay, sounds good. However, what's holding you back from making one extra phone call a day now? Like, why aren't you doing that now? Why is that special? They're like, well, because I got, there's all this other stuff that bogs me down. I go, why don't you solve that problem first? Solve the bogging down problem, because a phone call a day should be part of what you do. Then I said this, I go, what if every day you did not make that one extra phone call, that one extra conversation? What if every day you didn't do it, you write me a check for $5,000?
What was the response to that?
She just looked and said, holy crap, I'll do it. I will. I'll do that first thing in the morning. I go, so is it $5,000? What if I said it's $500? $500 for everyone. I still do it every day. So it's now just a matter of what's the pain? What's your pain point? Is it $500? Is it $100? If I said $10, you'd be like, if I miss a few, it's okay.
Yeah.
Why isn't there enough pain to go with this? Because if you really made an extra conversation a day with somebody, $1,000 or $500, you're going to earn how much more, because you're doing the work you're supposed to be doing anyway. But no one is holding anyone truly accountable to that kind of sizable pain. Think about it.
And
you put that kind of.
You're bang on. Sorry, keep going.
Would you want to write me a check for $5,000 a day, or would
Absolutely
you
not?
No, you do the damn work. It would be like before 12 o'clock. I'm getting this done so I can write. I am not writing him a check.
Yeah.
So what if I wrote you a check to do the work too? So it works both ways, and it takes time. So you said that 4 years ago when we got together in New Jersey, right? It took time. It takes time, right?
Yep.
So the quote I said this morning is, mastery requires patience. It takes time, but you don't have this time because people want to see that Amazon effect. So we use the story in one of the books we're pulling stuff out of in the midst of all our stuff is Atomic Habits.
I know the book. Yeah, right? Know the book. Absolutely.
So the scenario is this, and this is so perfect for this, is it's the ice cube, right? An ice cube. You've got an ice cube sitting on your table, and it's 25 degrees in your room. And you do the work, and it's 26 degrees or 27 degrees, and you're still doing more work, and it's 28 degrees. Ice cube doesn't change. It's still the same. And you're like, well, I'm doing an extra one every day, 28 degrees, 29 degrees. But the ice cube's not doing anything. And you get to 31, it still does nothing. But then one more, 32, it starts to change. And then at 33, change starts to happen faster. But you're doing the same thing you did. So I don't care if you went from 0 degrees to 31. You're like, holy crap, nothing is happening. But you still kept doing it. We give up on day 14, day 15. We don't get to see those results because we stop too soon, and we don't have consistency in our world because we're really not accountable to anybody. I'm a free independent contractor.
Yeah, consistency is the magic ingredient to achieving everything.
Consistency with anything. And we all struggle. We all struggle with it.
Everybody does. Okay, so then for that, what is the biggest takeaway on that moment right there then? If we're struggling with consistency, because I know how I teach it, and I know what I'm talking to people about repetition, planning your schedule. I mean, to me, again, the CRM and the time management is of the utmost importance. That's how I run my life, right? It used to be run on pen and paper, but that wasn't organized for me. It didn't allow me to create those predictable days. It didn't allow me to be completely in control of my days. So what I had to do was start to get into a structure. And now it's become a habit to the point where, somebody says this today, he says, I've got to make this like when I brush my teeth. I don't think about it. Or I get in the car to drive. I don't think about it. It just happens. Exactly.
That's right. Because you have to do it long enough to get it to be created as a habit. And it's not easy to do. Just like whether it's anything that's a habit, whether it's a smoking or health or anything, we all struggle with that consistency because it creates pain, right? We don't like to do it. I don't like picking up the phone and not knowing what to say, or the unknown of picking up a phone, or the unknown of stopping by a business, but those who do that are the ones who excel. When you ask any top producer, and I know some, like right now, some real estate agents, and I know some mortgage people right now that are making way ridiculous money right now. Yeah. Ridiculous. Yeah. And yet others are making still very little. When you ask the top producer, what makes you so successful? And even think about it when you're in your own world, like they're like, I don't know. I outwork everybody. I got grit. I just work harder. While all true, what they don't tell you is, because they don't even probably realize it themselves, it's those little extra things they're doing that create income producing activities versus others who never do it because they're sitting in the office like waiting for shit to happen. Sorry, part of my language. Waiting.
No, you're bang on, man. They're waiting for it to happen. They're not getting out there and making it happen.
But even the top producer doesn't realize how to explain why they're up here. Right. Why are you ranked number 30 in the country?
Because they keep just doing it.
I don't know. I got grit. I got this. I got that. Yes, you do. But you're doing if you sat and watched these people,
Just
You
repeat. Keep doing it.
Phone,
right?
multiple screens, multiple phones.
Right.
Like, I'm not saying it's for everybody either, but when you want to know how to do that, or at least hybrid of that, it's going to take consistency and it's going to take small changes. People cannot handle big change. Small changes every day, your little ice cube scenario, until you start getting a shift, until you start getting change. And you keep tweaking. But real estate, the biggest problem in real estate is the independent contractor and the lack of real accountability and the real lack of pain. They don't feel enough of it.
That's why guys like you and I exist in what we do for a living, by helping push people over to their next level of success.
100%. I mean, I have a mentor myself to keep me in.
Absolutely.
There's certain things I have to keep in check with, different things sometimes.
Well, hey, I lean on you. I'll send you those random messages. Jeff, I got an issue with, can you help me out with this? Right?
100%.
Like it's you've got to have good people to be able to do that with. So
you do.
I'm just paying attention to time here.
Yeah.
To all of our MindShare masters watching our live broadcast, who are not yet in our VIP room, get in there. The Zoom link is in the group. It's in your email. Make sure you join us because we're about to open that up. But Jeff, just as we kind of, again, just watching the clock here, because you and I were, again, it's one of those convos where you got a few more hours.
Yeah, we just go.
What I guess, I mean, we did a whole bunch of wicked stuff. Today's topic was all about how to put a spark in your marketing. We talked about the, what if this thing shuts down, what can we do? And we talked, making your phone calls and tapping into Facebook groups and connecting with local shop owners to see how we can help them. We really hammered in on a whole bunch of things that people can do in the event of lockdown. Mm-hmm. We also spun that in the event that, again, we're not going back to lockdown, like the things you need to do. And I think if we boil it right down, how to put a spark in your marketing is really to be out there, connect with people, be consistent about it all the time. And don't forget about your COI. Don't forget about making the phone calls. Don't worry about the no. Just keep pushing and doing things consistently.
And work on becoming an ecosystem to them, not just their realtor.
I like that message. So here, I guess with that then, last words or tips that you can share with everybody in terms of, again, kind of keeping that thing in mind of where we're going, which nobody really knows, and that idea around how to put a spark into your marketing.
Yeah. I don't even care where we're going, up, down, or around, because it's going to go with or without me. Like, change is going to happen with or without you. Right. So don't even care about that. What I know is we need to keep building relationships with new people and take care of the ones that have always helped us. So the hard part is we already know the past people. It's always trying to find the new opportunities and the new people to talk to. So focus on this. You're in the people business. Real estate's the product, right? Build and create relationships and the product will sell itself. Because once they already trust you, once a level of real trust, think about people that really trust you and you trust them. You'd give them your kids, for crying out loud. Like, here, take my kids for a weekend. Go. I trust you. Don't even ask. Go. So there's trust there. When you get to that level, like whatever you have as a product, most people will just kind of like, sure, how do I work with you? It comes that easy. The hard part is getting to that point. That's what you need to focus on. Become the ecosystem and create those relationships.
Where, Jeff, where can people find you?
Oh, they can find me SparkTankMedia.com or Coach52. Facebook Messenger is easiest probably. But email Jeff@SparkTankMedia.com is awesome.
And go to Facebook, check him out, Jeff Lobb. Not hard to find. Definitely will be the first one you find. Make sure you follow him. Last question before we go.
Yeah.
What made you smile today?
The energy. I think you and I have such a level of energy. I think it's rare and it's enjoyable to have, because sometimes when we sit behind our new virtual world and we talk at things because we can't talk to people, I think it's the energy made me smile a lot today. And I appreciate you for that. And it's always good to have these conversations for both our mental states sometimes. Because,
absolutely, man. No, I'm grateful for the relationship and all the help, both here today as well as behind the scenes, that you continue to provide. Keep doing what you do, man. You're, thank you for everything you're doing for everybody.
Same here. You keep at it. And I watched you flourish in the past how many years, and super excited for all that you're doing too. So it's sky's the limit, baby.
I was going to say, we're only going up from here, my man.
Only going up from here.
That's it. Yeah. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate you, buddy.
Appreciate y'all. See you.
You're either listening to this on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, or Spotify. Or maybe you downloaded our free Industry Syndicate podcast app. Or maybe you went to my website, MindShare101.com. And while you're on my site, make sure to download your free copy of the 7 Ways to Communicate ebook to help you build more mindshare so that you can get more market share. And if you want to talk about personalized one-to-one coaching to help you get to your next level, just get in touch with me. We'll set up a free consultation call to learn more about what you're looking to achieve and how I will help you do just that. Wherever you like to consume your content, please review, rate, subscribe, and if you haven't yet, connect with me on Facebook at MindShare101 and on Instagram at DavidGreenspan101. This has been another episode of the MindShare Podcast. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in.